This is Morning Motivation for Educators on the Bee Podcast Network. Learn about all the shows at beepodcastnetwork.com. You'll hear from a variety of formal and informal educators who help put this podcast together. If you'd like to contribute your voice to this show, please go to morningmotivationedu.com to apply. I'm Danielle Nuhfer, an educator for over 20 years who went up against 2 bouts of serious teacher burnout before finally realizing that I needed to share what worked and what didn't with educators everywhere. This is when Teaching Well was born. At Teaching Well, I partner with schools who recognize that when teacher well-being is prioritized, true teaching and learning can happen. And there's nothing more integral to building this kind of school culture than finding ways to care for yourself in the midst of all the school day hustle and bustle. Building in these moments is what this show is all about and what I hope to bring to you each time I get the opportunity to speak with you here. So with that, let's begin. Today's episode is about embracing the power of boundaries. Boundaries, what are they really? They're not barriers or walls, but guides that lead us to maintain balance and well-being. This year, especially, holds many uncertainties, as most years. Amidst this, remember that no is a complete sentence. It's vital for our well-being and the well-being of those we influence daily. Both teachers and leaders, ask yourself, are the extra hours and the weekend tasks truly necessary, or are they just self-imposed? Those perfect bulletin boards, detailed feedback, or prompt grade entries, who notices them more, you or your students? Most times it's just us. The intricacies we obsess over might go unnoticed because our intention is pure, to offer the best for our students. But what's the trade-off? Your well-being, time with your family, and personal space. What students and families cherish is your presence, the way you are when you're with them, how you engage, and that spirit is nurtured when you prioritize self-care. Can we bravely set boundaries? Can we bravely set boundaries so that we aim for an actual 40-hour work week, a healthy balance between our professional passion and our personal life? I think that we can. So I'm going to give you today 4 solutions to move toward a 40-hour work week. So I'd like to invite you to reframe grading. You do not have to grade everything. I'd like to invite you to think about how tools can help you with your grading, how choice can help you with your grading. Number 2, for a solution to move toward a 40-hour work week, are to create efficient routines. Track how you're spending time, and then see when you have pockets of time that you can maximize. Stack your tasks, like doing certain things on certain days every week, and create a general routine for your planning time. Again, these are all things that can be modified, but you want to create more efficiency in the routines and the time that you do have. Prioritize your priorities. Reframe your to-do list as a work in progress. It's never meant to be finished, just rewritten. Our priorities also need to include just a few things. Not everything can be a priority. And I heard a nice quote saying something like, you can do everything, but you don't need to do everything all at once. So there are seasons when we are going to have different priorities. You can write things down as a priority someday, but not everything needs to be prioritized, nor can everything be prioritized. And when we think everything can be a priority, we end up doing nothing very well. So prioritize your priorities. The final is say no to say yes. Practice saying, let me get back to you when somebody asks you to do something. If you aren't sure you can take on an additional responsibility, it's okay to say no, because that means you're saying yes to something else. You also can reframe it that you're allowing other people the opportunity to serve in some kind of way. So say no to say yes. Look at your no as a saying yes to something else. And don't be afraid to take some time to get back to somebody if they ask you to do something. So the 4 ways we can begin to move towards a 40-hour work week and really begin to embrace the boundaries that we need to have if we want to continue this career is to reframe grading, create efficient routines, prioritize priorities, and say no to say yes. So choose one of these boundary setting routines and dive in. I often remind the people I work with that constraints foster creativity. Embrace the time constraint you have and witness your creativity as you manage tasks, release unnecessary burdens, and prioritize you. To all educators out there, here's to teaching from a place of balance and well-being. Stay inspired, stay balanced, and teach well. If this morning's motivation resonated with you, I'd love to connect more. You can find all the different ways we can partner together at teachingwell.life. Thanks for listening. In whatever role you have in education, we have a podcast for you at bpodcastnetwork.com. Who among your friends and colleagues needs to hear this message today? Please share it with them right now.